It's not going to help you in the long run. It's not the correct way. It might help right now, and it might, you might score some goals and you might get away with it at the moment. But in the future, this is the correct way to do it. This is what works best, and it takes a little transition.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pod Football. I'm Jimmy and this is Jesse. And today's topic, right, is development. Dictionary.com defines the word develop as grow or cause to grow and become more mature, advanced, or elaborate. In today's youth soccer, I feel like development is a very common buzzword that coaches use constantly, right? But what does development mean to you guys? Jesse, what does development mean to you in a soccer perspective?
Coaching youth soccer all the way up to even professionals, what we try to do with development, we try to teach kids the dribbling, the passing, all the little things that will be essential for them in the future. And after we've done that, we figure out what that thing is that they're really good at. If they're a good striker, if they're a good defender, if they're a good dribbler, good passer, then we focus more on those things. So we develop the kids with a little bit of everything, then we specifically figure out what their strengths are and we build upon that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes complete sense. I mean, kids, as most people always commonly say, like they're like sponges, right? They're absorbing, they're taking all this information in, right? So as a coach, we want to try to show them as much as possible, right? We want to find out what they like, right? What their favorite technique is, right? I mean, we want to show them everything, how to use the inside, the foot, the outside, the foot, the sole, right? The laces, heel, you want to show them how to use everything, even occasionally showing them how to use a toe. Obviously, most coaches don't want kids kicking around the toe, poking the ball all the time, right? But it has its necessities, right? It is part of the game, right? And you can get away with that by scoring goals, even making passes when you're in tight spaces.
When it comes to the touch and the passing, that's one of my biggest things and one of my biggest pet peeves when I see younger kids kicking with the toe, probably because that's what they've been taught. Nobody corrected that.
Yes.
So when somebody like myself is trying to correct that with a lot of kids, it takes them a little while to do it, but they start to comprehend that even though they might not be kicking the ball harder, because with the toe they can rip it and score some great goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I try to tell them is, look, it's not going to help you in the long run. It's not the correct way. It might help right now, and it might, you might score some goals and you might get away with it at the moment, but in the future, this is the correct way to do it. This is what works best, and it takes a little transition, different eyes from a coach than somebody else that, hey, you've been getting away with it for this long, but this is what's working, and we need to get away from the bad habits.
Right. So I think we need to develop these players, very well-rounded, right? We need to show them all the different aspects of it, right? But what are all the aspects, right? So we've talked about, good dribblers of the ball, right? You have good technique, inside, outside the foot, sole, all that fun stuff, but what else is involved in this technical aspect of players? We want them to be good dribblers, but what else is involved in being a technical player?
We actually just spoke about this before, that if you want to be a really good player, you can't try to do everything. You have to specifically see what you're good at and do more of that. Let's take Messi, for example. Yes, he has an amazing right foot, but he focuses so much time on that left foot, because if he got his right foot to be just as good as his left, what would happen if he would have put all that time specifically for his left?
No, definitely, right? I mean, his left foot is, probably the best left foot in the world. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, his right foot's not that bad either, right? Like, I completely agree with you on that statement. But like you said, if he would have not spent that time and those hours working with that left foot, it probably wouldn't be that good, right? I mean, like you said, you're working on those strengths, right? So we got to find those strengths for players, and we got to help them continually improve those strengths.
Development is not just from the youth, it goes all the way to the professionals. You see the professionals, Barcelona, they go out to training. Yes, they have talented players, but what they do in their training sessions is the same thing almost every single day. The possession game, the passing game, the quick dribbling game, the quick 1-2s. They preach that every single time. And a lot of kids think that it's not important to do those type of things. But even in the highest of levels, that's pretty much 80% of what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's probably a few variations of those games, definitely, right? To mix it up, be a little bit new and everything in there. But like you said, yeah, I mean, you want players to develop, right, as this buzzword that we use around, and grow and progress. You know, that you're going to have to repeat.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, nobody in the world, you know, can learn something, you know, just one time.
Yeah.
Right? It takes those repetitions, you know, it takes repetitions of doing that skill or that activity or that drill, you know, over and over again to really master and hone, you know, that characteristic of your game. Players are working on that over and over progressively, you know, to improve whatever. Maybe they're working on the scissor, right? Or the step over,
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to find that move that they like, they're comfortable with, and then they're going to work on it over and over and over.
And that's what keeps us on our toes all the time, because we're not going to be teaching something to someone if we haven't done it ourselves.
No, definitely.
That's one of the reasons why I lost, actually, because I actually, at a moment, I got to 195 full muscle, and I realized that as much as I wanted to play, I wasn't able to run and teach exactly what I was doing. So I lost almost 20 pounds, and I've been able to stay lean, but now because of that, I can outrun my players, I can outtouch my players. But when they see that, when the players see that you are better than them and that what you're teaching them is actually working for yourself, that's when they see this figure that they actually want to continue doing it. Because if you're teaching them something that you can't even show an example on, how are they gonna stay motivated to actually continue doing it?
Well, definitely, I think that's a huge aspect of for the youth game, right? I mean, as coaches, we have to be able to demonstrate, right? We have to be able to demonstrate what we want.
Yes.
Right. You know, practice what we preach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if we're asking players, you know, to play a 30-yard ball, you know, we have to be able to show them that it is doable.
What is development to you? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Do you have something to add on? Let us know in the comments below.
So thank you again. All right. And I'm Jimmy.
I'm Jesse. Thank you.
Thank you.